he's got to build chemistry with the second group, and we talked to De'Aaron about that, and he said chemistry something just takes time. What's your approach to try and build chemistry with these new guys?
No, for sure. It does take time. Obviously, the guys that were here last year, they're a little ahead of the guys that are new to the program. So we have to, as a staff, be patient while being demanding, and the players have to want to get it right sooner than later while trying to carry the new guys along themselves.
How critical, I guess, could you be after one preseason game, or did you want to be after one preseason game?
I have a hard time not telling the truth, and so I told our guys the truth. I thought now in stretches we played good basketball. You could see the flow and the spacing and all the things that we preach offensively, even defensively. I think we took 5 charges or something like that. And, that's part of the physicality that I said that we have to have. We got to give up our body for the betterment of the team because we're not necessarily big, especially that starting group. And so we did some nice things, but then we went through stretches where, we just didn't communicate in transition. And that was probably the biggest thing that I took away in terms of a negative is our transition defense was not good. And then there were times offensively because of the different combinations and the new guys and even our old guys a little bit maybe over dribbling. We got into a rut of not playing basketball the right way or together.
Mike, we've heard so much.
It's going to take a little time, to get used to each other, learn each other's tendencies.
Yeah, but we have to be a little careful too because the second, we're playing in groups of 5. You know what I'm saying? And so the second unit may be Foxy, Davion, Malik, Keegan, and JaVale. Or there may be some starters mixed in with that second group. So what you guys are watching isn't necessarily how it's going to play out during the regular season. We're not going to have our starters in, basically pull them out, all together, and then put a whole new 5 in. I usually like to keep, if I can, Fox or Sabonis on the floor at all times. And Keegan's getting to the point, too, at times where it'd be great to have Keegan and Fox or Keegan and Sabonis on the floor at all times. So there could still be different combinations that you'll see once the year starts when it comes to quote-unquote second unit.
We saw a little bit of De'Aaron and Davion playing together. Do you hope to try to use that a little bit more this year?
They did last year at times, obviously Davion would come in for Foxy, but then, especially if Davion was playing well, he'd stay on the floor and we'd bring Fox back, because we just didn't take Davion out whenever Fox was out. Sometimes they did play together last year, and it could happen again this year as well.
Mike, we saw the first 5, the second 5, and Sasha wasn't part of either of those and didn't play until the second half. Where is he at in his acclimation, and where is he at in your rotation as of right now?
He's he played well for us offensively, I thought, against Toronto, and he's getting better. And again, like I said, we're just taking a look at different combinations. We may throw Sasha in with the second 5 and Dorte with the third 5. There's the only thing that may not happen is I don't think I'll mess with the starting 5, but the second and the third 5 can change it at any time. But Sasha, again, showed some of his versatility on the offensive end of the floor for us that people will expect to see come this year.
Mike, do you anticipate that he would be in your rotation at the start of the season, and is like where you have him right now a way to help him acclimate and learn the system since the learning curve is a little steeper for him?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if he will be or not. He's just got to keep fighting his behind off and getting better every opportunity that he gets, whether it's in practice and shoot around and or in the game.
Health-wise, everyone come out of that game good?
Health-wise, yeah.
As you guys look ahead to LA, what are you looking to see from your squad in that game?
To see if we can string a few more possessions together of playing fast, but also playing together and playing the right way. And then defensively, taking care of the transition game and being physical without fouling. I thought those were some of the things that hurt us against Toronto, especially when we turned the ball over. We didn't necessarily have that next play mentality, meaning that, hey, immediately you got to transition as opposed to drop your head or your shoulders and then transition.
You mentioned Sasha's defense earlier in camp. I'm curious, what you saw in that first preseason game from him defensively, and how much of it is just adjusting to NBA speed, athleticism.
His defense against Toronto was at best okay. He gave up middle a couple of times, and we're a no middle team. He's got to keep the ball on the sideline, and then he's got to make sure that he continues to understand the league, and so he's got to watch as much film as he can on guys that he may match up against, so that he can try to pick up on their tendencies sooner than later.
You guys got crushed on the glass, and your two starting forwards, neither one had a rebound. What do you have to do to get those guys to get in there and help Domas out?
We just got to put bodies on bodies. I thought we were pretty good, with the exception of the postseason last year, and our guys have done a decent job of it in practice. It was great for us to go against Toronto because they're so long and athletic and quick. So it was a good test for us, and it's going to be something as the preseason goes along. If we don't correct on our own, I'll start harping more on. But as long as I see guys trying to go find the body and not necessarily not box out, then I'll let it ride for a little bit.
What do you think about the potential of Malik and JaVale as a pick and roll duo?
I tell you, it can be good because Malik is such a threat getting downhill in the pick and roll situation, and he likes to throw the lob, and he didn't really play with a guy last year that can just go get it, and so now as a big, you're put in a predicament. If you pay too much attention to Malik, which a lot of teams did last year, then you're going to put your backside in peril, because even when you have a small guy or whoever it is sink back on JaVale, they're usually not big enough to go up and challenge the lob dunk or anything like that. So that combination can be really good because Malik's a willing passer. Our spacing is usually pretty good, and JaVale gets in and out of that pick and roll quicker than anyone in the league, or almost as quick as anyone in the league. If there's a couple guys better, I don't know. But and then that length, makes it dangerous with the shooting that we have. So it could be pretty good.
Sean, sorry, did you have one?
No.
Okay.